What's going on, everybody? This is James Grandmaster Facts Boyce, and this is the Facts Project. In the inaugural issue, I basically wanted to pretty much provide a one-pop shop as far as like what it takes and what everyday lives of nerd culture, blurred culture, and everything that is geek, as far as the hindsight on everybody within either your favorite artists, creators, and celebs, all on one platform. And today, my guest is Will Brown, otherwise known as Ill Brown, producer extraordinaire, as well as Beat the Block podcast co-host and VP of Operations for Noir Caesar. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here.
Oh man, pleasure's all mine, man. Glad you could have me on.
Absolutely. So to get right into it, you're a man of many hats. Like you're pretty much a renaissance man when it comes to exactly what you've been doing for as long as you have. And I have taken the opportunity of seeing your titles basically brought out on in hindsight, whether it's been you producing for Freddie Gibbs, BJ the Chicago Kid. But what's more intriguing is the fact that not only are you the VP of operations for Noir Caesar, the one of the most fledgling US anime companies that's also a black anime company.
Mm-hmm.
And also you've taken the opportunity to start your own podcast, the Beat the Block podcast, where pretty much it's almost in story length, where a lot of the people that tend to chop it up on your show have brought up their discussions of when they were at their lowest point and what brought them out. And I saw that as extremely intriguing. For one, how long have you been a producer now? And I know you've been doing this for like a long time.
Oh yeah, man. I've been doing, beats production, things like that. I actually started out as a graffiti writer, man. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
So no doubt, man. But I quickly transitioned to being a music producer, man. I'm been doing this for 21 years now, man. So
Man, that is what's happening. So what was like the biggest thing that basically pretty much triggered the fact that like, okay, this is my niche, because I know that people are tend to be more inclined to the music that I produce more than anything.
absolutely, man. Just early on, man, being able to grow up in the golden era of hip hop and just seeing hip hop evolve, man, and being fans of some of the greatest to ever do it, man. The Dillas of the world, Pete Rock's, Nujabes, uh, Kanye West, though, guys, right here in my backyard, and you know what I mean. Just being able to be a part of the culture, as it evolved, man. That played a big part of me, wanting to do it full time. I mean, I actually started out playing football. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like,
Okay.
yeah, I actually played a little bit of pro football, but always on the side, man. Like even in training camp, all that stuff was my beat machine and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it was just a matter of time, really, before it was a a full time thing for me doing music production.
So at one point, you know what I'm saying, you were just strictly athlete, and then at some time or another, you got a beat machine and was like, yeah, this is me now.
Yeah, actually, man, I was able to, I guess you could say, swindle my grandmother into like, I guess that you could say I had like the biggest like chore, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'll do chores for the next 20 years if you could just buy me this one machine. And you know what I mean? She saw the price of it. It was like, okay, there's no way this kid could possibly be serious about this,
Right.
knowing the price tag. He researched this thing. Beat machines were wildly expensive back in the day. You know what
What,
I'm saying?
what
So
was it, an MP?
actually an MPC 60, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was between getting that or SP 1200, and SP 1200s at that time become extremely hard to find.
Yeah.
And they were, starting to phase out that technology as a whole. The SP as far as the SP 1200 goes. But so I was able to, get this MPC 60. My grandmother put it on her credit card, which was amazing to me. It was a long shot in my mind.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? She's like, okay, don't ask me for nothing else, pretty much for life. And and right then and there, I'm like, yo, I got this mug. I plug it in. and
Yeah.
it's like no sound coming out of it, right? And I'm like bugging out, like there's no sound, it's broke. Like what? Then I called my homie DJ Vest 120. Shout out to my partner, man. And he was like, "Fam, you need records. You need stuff to sample. Like he's like, I can help you out, man. I got a zip with some drums and stuff, bro. But yeah, man, you got a record player? Can you borrow?" I was like, "I don't have none of that, bro." And he was just like, "Oh man, you in for a rude awakening, bro."
You
And
thought it came with its own beats already.
I thought it at least had its own sounds, because
Right.
all of the magazines and things I had read through back in the day, or even if you would like see people using it, like you watch your own TV raps, things like that, you would always see cats using that in the SP12,
Mm-hmm.
and they just hitting on it, and I'm like, yo, that's what I need right there. You know what I'm saying? Little did I know, cats was sampling from the vinyl into the thing, and I'm like, oh man, I had a whole nother step that I just totally ignored. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So, but it was actually cool though, because grandmom and all of them had records and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would sneak downstairs. Like my grandparents had like this. I don't even know how to describe. You know how old furniture is in your grandparents' crib back in the day.
Yeah.
You don't think nothing of it, but it's wildly expensive and very much so unique. Like they had this entertainment system thing that was like built into the furniture. My grandmother called it Jaws, and my grandfather called it Jaws. I just thought it was just the furniture. But if you open it up, it was like a bar, an 8-track player, a record player, and all of this crazy stuff that I never knew about, right?
Right.
Until I got my MPC 60. And then I started like getting desperate, like I need sound. So I'm opening up Jaws. I knew it had records, but I didn't know Jaws did all that other stuff.
Wow.
So I opened it all up. I got my MPC 60 sitting there. I'm sampling Frank Sinatra records that my grandmother had, just trying to catch a vibe, man. And yeah, shout out to my boy 120. He he helped me out so much back in the day. Like that
Man,
dude, I'm forever in debt to that cat, man, for real.
that's what's up, man. So who was probably like the first either artist or major artist that like pretty much co-signed your work and looked at it as much as like, okay, this is for real?
I would have to say there's a cat here in Chicago, man. He had a skateboard shop at the time too. My man Doug Infinite. He actually does work for the Golden State Warriors right now
Okay.
in some capacity. I totally forget what. I think it's in like graphic design or something. But yeah, Doug Inf, he was producer for Common, and producing for a lot of underground heavyweights at the time. Black Star, bunch of cats like that. And me and 120 would slide to the skateboard shop all the time, just chop it up with him,
Right.
talk to him and stuff. And then out of the blue, I'm like, hey, I make beats, man. Like, yo, like, how can I get these beats to some of these people? I you know what I mean, I'm fans of on the low and stuff like that. And then I had the opportunity to pass some beats along at the time. He ended up actually writing for Kanye West
Mm-hmm.
and battling Eminem, which was my man Ryan Fest and MC Juice.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was able to get beats to those cats. And it was just constantly, it was like kind of like the proving grounds. You know what I mean? I would just feed them beats and just to see if they liked them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Rhyme Fest is kind of, he had Kanye around all the time. So he's like, yeah, they cool. He would never really, you know what I'm saying, use anything. But Juice was like, yo, yeah, keep feeding me beats, bro. You're getting better and better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first person that had any kind of, bit of industry, I guess, ties that was
Right.
like, yo, keep working at it, bro. You're pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But after that, plenty of others, man. But
yeah.
it was a pretty big gap in between when I first actually got a placement.
Now inside of this transition
Mm-hmm.
of you being a producer, what was it that appealed for you to join the world of anime?
Oh man, this is actually a pretty funny story, right?
Okay.
So I'm from the South Side of Chicago, man, and
Right. I was like, yo, is anime popping in Chicago?
oh, heavy.
Heavy.
Like you
Okay.
be shocked. You know what I mean? Like it'd be the same dude that'll you know, throw gang signs at you, be, you know, watching Vampire Hunter D was like that back in the day, like for real.
Okay. Gotcha.
So like say I was no exception, you know what I mean? So one day, what's the joint I'm watching? They used to show anime on PBS back in the day, believe it or not.
I
So
believe.
I, I'm flipping through channels, and this joint called Wicked City is on.
Mm-hmm.
I must be like 9 to 10 years old at the time, and I'm looking at it, and it's wild, crazy. It's like unlike any other cartoon I'd ever seen. Like I was like, yo, this ain't like GI Joe and
Right.
you know Transformers. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's blood and it's you know it's mature.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this was like something that my older brothers would watch. That they kicked me out the room, you know, when they want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So little did I know, my oldest brother Julius is like loaded with VHS collection of anime, right? So I go downstairs, run downstairs, knock on his door, boom, Jew, I just watched this joint called Wicked City. I never seen nothing like that before, man. What is that? And he was like, oh man, you watching anime? And he was like, man, let me show you some. And then he pulls out a bunch of VHS and his Go-Go 13 and Fist of the North Star and all this crazy stuff. Early Dragon Ball Z stuff I never even
Yeah.
knew existed. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. What's the another one of the stuff that I still love to this day? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this. They almost like the Transformers. Well, not Voltron, but I totally drew a blank on it, man. But it'll come to me. It'll come
Uh-huh.
to me. Got a lot of stuff floating around this old noggin here, man. But yeah. Anyway, so I you know I go down and he has this whole collection of anime,
Right.
and I'm like, yo, can I just when you watching it, can I just come watch it? And he's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. You know, as long as it's the stuff that ain't rated R
Yeah.
and rated X.
Yeah.
And I was like, rated X? What does that even mean at this point? Like 10, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So one day he's at work. He was working at a spot called what's the name of the joint? Spot called Farmore. Imagine like the most low budget version of Walmart you could possibly think of back in the day. And he worked there. He was a warehouse manager. And
Okay.
he's going for work one day. I was like, "Hey, why you going? Can I watch some anime? You know, Go 13 and some stuff." He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. Just make sure you rewind the tapes." I go down there and I see this one joint, and it was like Aratku Sokodachi. It's the Legend of the Overfiend.
Oh.
I yeah, I was like, "Oh, this look kind of crazy right here." I'm looking at the box art, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like this big monster, and he's over Tokyo, right? And I'm like, "Okay, word." I pop it in, man. It's the wildest stuff I ever seen in my life. My mind was blown. It's nudity, it's violence, it's just over the top. And
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'll never go back to watching regular cartoons after this.
So that was it. Age 10, anime fully in.
I'm all the way in. Like I would, every time I had sleepovers or whatever, I asked my friends to come through, I'm
Right.
putting them on the anime. Like, yo, what y'all want to do? Play Nintendo? I'm like, no, you gotta watch this. And boom, is Vampire Hunter D. Boom, is Fist of the North Star. All my friends became hooked. And we was like all like regular kids though. You know what I mean? Like we really didn't consider. And, I think that's the whole dynamic that we like to portray with Noir Caesar is that like we're all nerds and geeks, I guess so to speak, but we were all like just regular kids growing up. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like went outside, had friends, played. We didn't consider ourselves like, I guess weird or nerds. We just was like, yo, this is dope.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Man.
So it kind of like, permeates the message that we convey today. We're like, yo, you're not weird for liking anime. You're not a geek. You're not a nerd.
Nah.
Actually, you're dope. And everybody else is weird. Like
Mhm.
they're tripping. That's how we kind of spin it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we the cool kids. Y'all weird for not liking this.
So what basically what was what was the formation that brought you to create Noir Caesar
Crazy
with
story.
your brother?
Crazy story. So I'm one of the OGs of the company, man.
Yeah.
The main four guys that you see as far as I guess the ownership group, with Johnny being the CEO and founder,
Yep.
Corey being the chief operating officer, Corey does every damn thing. I don't know how he functions, but I thought I wore a lot of hats. Corey does almost twice as much as what I do on a daily basis. But him and then Marcus, just making sure all our ideas on point, making sure we're presented properly. That's our core four, and of course Jax. Jax is the face of the company. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
if when guys grow up, they fantasize about having a cool chick that likes anime. That's Jax. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's my sis. So that's pretty much the main people that you see at the cons and all this stuff.
Yeah.
As we've evolved as a company, man, it's a lot more people have come on. We'd be here all day talking about it, but just the formation of that was a crazy story. I was actually doing some stuff. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with Anthony Piper.
Yes.
Runs Trill League.
Yep.
Yeah, it's my man. He's right here from Chicago. So
Okay.
excuse me. I was working on some stuff for Ant, and he's like, "Yo, I got this thing Trill League going. I need music." And I was like, "Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm feeding them beats, and we're constantly, just keeping in touch." And around this time, Johnny's playing for the Milwaukee Bucks,
Right.
and he reaches out. He's reaching out to everybody that's black, that's attached to the industry, that deals in anime in any kind of capacity. And Johnny's like, I need somebody that really loves anime to oversee, what I'm doing sonically, as far as production, making sure it's authentic, all of that cool stuff. And Ant is like, yo, you got to meet my guy Will, man. He's like, he's the one who got me into watching anime back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm living in San Diego at the time. So Johnny hits me up via Ant, and I'm like, we just vibing on the phone like we known each other our whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Johnny's like my little brother, really. You know what I'm saying? Because of our age gap. But we vibing on the phone, and I was like, look, man, like, forget all these phone calls, bro. Just come, man, hop on the flight, bro. Come see me. So Johnny hops on the flight, comes out to San Diego, and ever since, man, we've been rocking.
That man. So to see like basically Noir Caesar like grow as a company, and to
Mm-hmm.
see the pretty much the escalation of black content within manga, within anime, within just straight comics, indie comics
Mm-hmm.
especially, like how has that been, I guess, as far as your company's psyche? How's that been going forth? Like, does that make you guys see the future that much more better? Because I signed up for the email list to get beta listed on that app,
Wonderful,
and
wonderful.
I'm
You will enjoy it.
yeah, I'm ready. So like I'm sitting here like thinking like, what do these companies think, seeing exactly like what's happening now? Because a lot of people are home and they're looking up content, and most people that necessarily didn't even get to see that there was actually black mangas and black animes out there, and content creators that were basically formatting a lot of this good anime that's coming out were
Indeed.
actually like black artists and everything like that. And then to like just find out in hindsight who exactly the people are, and you're proud of that for one. And in this in essence of it, you just want to get to know exactly what the company is. And how does
Indeed.
that feel for you guys?
It's a wonderful feeling, man. And there's a lot of other companies, that deserve some credit as well, man. But I think what our niche is kind of taking the, like I was saying before, like kind of being the bridge between evolving, you know, uh, black, nerds and blurs and things like that, into where we're the cool kids now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I think Noir represents, the average person that likes anime
Right.
that's black. You know
Yep.
what I mean? That's like there's the stigma, man, and I hate it because there's all type of black fans that like anime. Some of them are nerdy cats that I guess they got picked on growing up, things like that. That wasn't my story.
Right.
That wasn't Johnny's story. Johnny grew up hooping. I grew up playing football. Marcus is a cool dude. You know what I mean? I guess if any of us have that story, it would be Corey. But even still, Corey, is not a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? So we really don't come from that perspective, but we can empathize with it as well.
Hmm.
So it's like, hey, we're like the kids at the lunch table, right?
Yeah.
And you walking past the cool kids lunch table, and then you might be the nerd, you scared to come sit at the table, and we're like, hey, come sit at the table. You cool just like us. You
Right.
like what we like. And they didn't even know that we all like the same thing. So for us, that's where it's so important, and it's been so refreshing to see
Mm-hmm.
that all types of people that that's rocking with us, and want to see us win, man. Whether it be like, I mean, the super duper nerd from somebody who just hoops, or just casually likes anime and manga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy to see that it's so many black people that's into it, but we've known this all along.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, hey, it's our job to let the mainstream people know, like, hey, we see you taking the sauce and infusing it into your characters, and spot doing it in certain spots, and grabbing this ambassador here and that person there. Hey, open the floodgates for us all the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like look how fast the whole, after what happened with George Floyd and Sandra Bland, just all of the social injustices and everything. All these companies came out. We're looking for black creators. We're looking for black creatives, and
Right.
it sounded nice, but really give us some opportunities.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It
And
wasn't looking before.
exactly, they definitely weren't looking before. And man, we've been in tons of pitch meetings and things like that, and we slowly start to realize, like, okay, they love what we do. Why we're not partnering up with certain people to produce content, and then later on you see them trying to use some of your ideas, or just even some of
Yeah.
some of your train of thought
Mm.
towards what they're trying to do, because at the end of the day, the black dollar is extremely powerful.
Right.
So us trying to have a home for all of our content, as well as empower people who are developing their own stories, and they want to make anime one day, or maybe want to be a manga writer. We want to provide those opportunities, and sort of kind of be like a farm system
Mm-hmm.
for all these these brilliant people, man. So instead of saying, hey, Black Lives Matter, we support you guys, we're looking for some stories, and then you maybe pick one person out of all this. No, it's tons of talent. It's
Exactly.
tons of talent, and you could see it in a lot of the anime and manga. You could look at Demon Slayer and Tokyo Ghoul and Soul Eater, and just, I mean, come on, man. Like, you could see the sauce. You could see
Mhm.
it. It's like, you won't you take this white character, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and give them all the sauce that a black character has, have them talking black, walking black, looking black, the whole nine, but you
Mhm.
won't make them black.
Right.
And it's like, yo, we got to change that, man. So we were just like, you know what? Let's just not, you know, teeter that line. Let's just do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's give them Darius. Let's give them Danielle. Let's give them Seven and Silver for Primus. Let's give them, and we don't just, the thing. Our thing is diversity matters as well.
Yeah.
Our stories feature characters from all different, ethnic backgrounds and in diverse culture. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, we're not just saying, you know, all black characters all the time. No, where it makes sense for the character to be black, let the character be black.
Right.
It just makes no sense whatsoever for you to have this dude that literally has all the mannerisms, all the swag of a black character,
Mm-hmm.
and the character end up being white. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah. They say that in the
give
comic.
us our flowers, man.
They say that in the comic world as well. They was like, there's a couple characters that you just cannot change. For one, you cannot change T'Challa. He is black. He's from
Absolutely.
Africa. He is from Wakanda. You cannot change Magneto. He is a Jewish Holocaust survivor. He
Exactly.
from Poland, and he belongs to be a Jewish Holocaust character. You know what I'm saying? Like a Jewish
Indeed.
nationality character. But let's talk about the fact that Noir Caesar, to me, reminds me of a startup hip hop label. For one, you're also the music director for Noir Caesar
Indeed.
as well as the VP of operations. There's also the clothing line that's attached to it with Nami Wear.
Yes, sir.
So what happened to me, what got kickstarted in me was the discussion that, okay, I remember when Rockefeller came out, they also had Rockaware. They also had their own drinks. You know what I'm saying? They had
Everything
Armadale
is fair
vodka.
game.
Yeah, it was like the parallels between basically being an upstart hip hop company and being Noir Caesar, this upstart black anime company, just seemed like it was like boom, like it just fit. And I was like, there's so many similarities in this because you started a company that almost looks like, you know what I'm saying, like you basically said, you guys are the cool kids. And this is how we're coming out the park. Like, boom, yeah. We got basically all our artists. We have Fourth Rope and anime that's basically about to start up in 2021. We also
Indeed.
have Nami Wear, so we pretty much have a clothing line attached to our company on the side note, and it's available to everybody. Like you can basically cherry pick how you want this to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We could definitely cherry pick it, man, but we like to make it available to everybody.
Right.
Like our thing is we want to create kind of like hype beast culture for our brands, but
Mm-hmm.
without the without this not including everybody. Like hype beast culture is very niche. Like everybody can't participate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're like, nah, let's flip the script on that, man. We want this to be available to everybody. However, you know what I mean? We want real support, not hype beats a real fickle. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, and we're not in the brand of reselling. We're in the brand of, keeping that fan for life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like we want our fans to grow and evolve with us. So it's just one of those things, man, where I guess you could say it's similar to how Rockefeller evolved. You know what I mean? Like you start in one thing and then you just branch out. But what happens is all that stuff is necessary, man, because
Yeah.
these Crunchyroll and Funimation and all these companies and Viz Media, they're the same, man. Like at the end of the day, all of your intellectual properties are nothing but billboards to sell merchandise.
Uh-huh.
And you eventually you go to a con, man, like you can buy every kind of Dragon Ball Z T-shirt your heart desires, or One Punch Man, or whatever, whatever you're into.
Right.
All of the anime are literally just billboards and commercials to sell you the merch.
Yeah.
And for us to just focus on anime would pigeonhole us. So like what we're doing with Nami Wear, shout out to my bro Dom, and doing with like with the app and just everything we got our hands in,
Mm-hmm.
even with the music,
Right.
ultimately we're going to offer a indie label of sorts for hip hop artists, and you know what I'm saying, to come on board. Like we're not stopping, you know what I mean? So we want to literally branch out and do everything.
Well, perfect segue. I wanted to ask you that question. Something you said like a little bit a while ago. Now you talked about Crunchyroll and Funimation. Now
Yes,
I
sir.
know Funimation has been owned by Sony for some time now, but
Right.
it's also now about to possibly be the acquisition of Crunchyroll through Sony for about like $975 million.
Yeah, they dropping the bag.
Right.
That's for
Right.
sure.
So for you guys in the anime world, what does that mean to you when news like that happens?
Well, we feel like you guys can feel free to send some of that money our way. You know what I mean? Let us still run it, because you guys can't run it the way we run it.
Mm-hmm.
But share some of those resources and things, towards us, man. And like what we want to do, and it's not necessarily trying to form a conglomerate, but we want to, like I said, be the farm system, and we want to be where people come to discover all the dope black talent. Like everybody that's black, that's dope, that's in the anime, manga, hip hop, in some form of capacity, fashion,
Mm-hmm.
should want to check us out, or either be a part of it or be a fan. And like, and I'm not shy about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get on the cross for that. Like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
if you black and you don't rock with Noir Caesar, I got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you should think what we're doing is dope because we're doing it for the people. You know what I mean? Like there's a and and it's proof of that, man. Like we're one of the only companies, man. We'll go live and like right from our Instagram page and take pictures right there on the spot. And 3 titles that we got coming to the app were from pictures from the Instagram live.
Mm.
So what it does is it lets people who want to get into this arena know that there's somewhere for me to actually, there's it's not a dead end. It's not just me pitching to Crunchyroll or Viz Media or these huge corporate conglomerates where I feel like there's just no way in. We got a spot for you right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make sure your stuff is dope. That's all we ask.
So what do you see as far as like young creators that basically want to get their foot in the door? And I'm sure you guys get approached and DMs start to happen consistently.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. So like, what is usually like what's the conversation like if it happens? Because I know you guys are tremendously busy. So there's a lot of people that pretty much want to get into the business. Like how do they feel like they can get their footing in if they do talk to you guys?
Well, we don't give people the fairy tale approach. You know what I mean? There's always people that give you the cliche stuff. Like even when we do our panels and everything, we let people know like right away, like, hey, we're still not exactly where we want to be. Although you guys are looking at us like, sometimes they look at us like we're rock stars, and we're like, yo, we're still trying to get to the bag too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to make this even better. So when you guys come to us, we have more resources to offer you if we like, what you're doing. So we get a lot of, we try to respond to everybody though, man. Like honestly, like our DMs, you know what I mean? Especially on the Noir Caesar page, man, we try to literally answer everybody. If we don't get to you in the DM, you got an interesting comment, or if you send a pitch to Corey or myself or Marcus or Johnny, we don't just let the inboxes pile up, man, because it's our duty to also be looking for the next, dope artist, dope storyteller as well.
Yeah.
So we can't take that for granted. You know what I mean? Somebody might have sent us the next big thing, and you could Hollywood yourself right out of Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't take that for granted, man. We try to check our emails and respond to our fans and then people who want to, come on board and possibly, aspire to be a part of Noir one day in one, form of capacity. We just don't take that for granted. You never know who's gonna have, that next fire content.
Yeah. Since you're an OG of the crew, is there anybody that basically showed and proved enough to be a part of the family and is now like a staple that you've seen as like a diamond in the rough in the beginning?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. For one, my man Dom, who runs Nami, where like we brought him on. It was crazy because we were doing cons and pop-ups and things, and we had the merch, and then Johnny had the idea one day, like, man, we need a full-fledged company, like a sister company, but strictly for the apparel and the merch. And I was like, well, there's a cat who's been following us for a minute, but I personally know him, and he has industry ties and success, and his name is Dom Jimenez. Let me see if he's interested in coming on board. So, and the thing about us, like all of us, like work. We do like when it's time to work, we grind, man, and we get to it. You know what I mean? Like even us wearing as many hats as we do, like you come to a pop up, Johnny might be fresh off, coming to play ball or whatever, or fresh off practice, and we right there chopping it up with the fans and everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
right,
like we all take the grind very seriously, and I was like, yo, this cat Dom is the real deal, man. He used to run a brand called Mimic Brand, and like just I mean, Dom, I think he's from like East Pennsylvania, man, like small town kid, and I would see his brand on the internet and be like, yo, it's dope. And then slowly but surely I would start seeing cats like Soldier Boy rocking Mimic, and you know what I'm saying, Cam Meekins, and like certain hip hop artists rocking it. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. And I was already, supporting it and wearing it myself as well. So I said, hey, yo, Johnny, we need to connect the dots here. And literally, there's a lot of people that say they want to work with us. And then we like, well, okay, show us your stuff. And then I wouldn't say it's trash, but it's like, yo, we need to see it. Like, cause if we like it, we're gonna really put you on.
Right.
And a lot of people will submit stuff and it'd be like, eh. And then a couple other people we were working with would drop the ball and we'd be like, no, we need somebody that's gonna go crazy and go hard for this, for this Nami wear brand. So we bring Dom in, and it's literally crazy because I was like, yo, Johnny, I think this is the guy for the Nami wear move. And literally within like 20, 30 minutes, Dom sends like 30 or 40 samples over. Like I'm talking hats, t-shirts, jacket, anything you could imagine, backpacks.
Right.
And he's like just constantly like, and Johnny's like, man, this dude is exactly who I need. And then he's like, yo, I need somebody to design the website, this, that. I was like, Johnny, he does all of that.
Right.
So he's like, he fits right in with our culture, being able to be versatile. So like when you see NamiWear.com, that's Dom. He books those photo shoots. He's front and center, you know what I mean, doing everything. We don't even have to touch it really.
Right.
So we just, let Dom cook, man. And that's the type of work ethic, if for everybody who's watching this and checking it out and listening, it's not that, we're hard to work with or hard to join. When you come on, it's a grind, man, because we don't look at the competition. I mean, our competition really is Crunchyroll and Viz Media and all these companies, and they have all these crazy resources. So in order for us to, even be in a conversation, our stuff has to be, just as dope or way doper than them. And I think, that's just synonymous with the Black experience, period.
Right. No, I totally understand that. And shout out to Dom because he definitely is doing his thing. So another one of your projects basically just started. You just finished a season. Beat the Block podcast.
Yes, sir.
So how did this come to fruition?
Wow, the Beat the Block podcast. So actually that's basically a group of friends. But a lot of stuff that we've accomplished over the years in the industry.
Yeah.
Getting together like, yo, let's do something. Let's make a podcast. I still, rock with the brand and I'm a part of it. But Trox and myself are from the Team Backpack days.
Okay.
So, we had that connection, me and Trox. And then there's a huge producer community called iStandard. I'm not sure if they're still doing anything, but Candy she was doing some stuff for iStandard for many years.
Right.
So all three of us, through beat battles and all that cool stuff, we all stay in contact. And like, me and Trox are like super close. So we were like, hey, yo, we should do a podcast. And at the time, everything fell into place because my man Dev Tejwani, he's the former CEO.
Okay.
Former CEO of Team Backpack.
Yep.
And he had taken a position over at BeatStars.
Ah, okay.
And exactly, he was like, "Yo, let me put some things together for you guys. I really like that podcast idea that we were gonna do via the Team Backpack platform. However, it made more sense for producers to do something with a producer platform, and we ended up partnering with BeatStars for the first season."
So as far as like the aspect of how the podcast is constructed, it's basically from how I figured it out. It's pretty much more so mental, social, as far as like
Indeed.
how a lot of people within the business have overcome a lot of difficulties when they've hit brick walls. How did they get through them? And I think that aspect of it is dope.
Oh man, absolutely. Like I think entertainment industry wide, man, a lot of people don't want to tell the story about how taxing this stuff is for your mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course it's peaks and valleys, man, and you have to know how to navigate that as a creative, man. Whether you're making beats or whether doing a podcast thing like yourself, or
Yeah.
there's going to be peaks and valleys, man, and you're going to have, those successes, and then you're going to have times where you're like, man, I should just go get a job, man. This is crap. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so it's very important for us, having all these connections to let people know that, hey, your favorite producers and artists and people that you think got it made are also battling the same demons and the
Right.
same things that you are as well. You know what I mean? Except it's even more stressful because, they're used to a certain level of success, certain level of income. You know what I mean? So once you get to a certain level, it's like you got to go even harder to maintain it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like they say, it's like, get to your first $1 million or whatever, or get to your first whatever threshold you set for yourself. Once you get there, how do you stay there?
Right.
And that right there is taxing as hell mentally. You know what I mean? So we thought it would be like, yo, imagine if somebody, you know, knew that the non-porter, or like for season 2, we got Jake One coming on. We got, Jaleel Beats, who, helped Meek Mill rise to fame. And the people that you think got it made are like, yo, I haven't made beats in 6 months, man. I was depressed. I was going through this. I was going through that.
Right.
For people to hear those things, it helps them stay in the trenches, because it's like, yo, if my favorite people are able to grind, and it's like that for them, I know that, I should definitely hang in there for the long haul. There's hope. You know what I mean? And, we're not in the business of selling hope. We're in the business of inspiring. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, hearing that your favorite people, like, yo, I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills and things like that, and for them to, persevere and make it happen, that's inspiring, as opposed to saying, I've been to tons of music seminars and stuff, man, and your favorite artist is there, and he's like, just work hard and you can be like me one day, and it's totally BS. Like,
Right.
no, tell them the truth, man. Tell them that, in the process of going for your dreams, like, your girlfriend left you, or or your mom got sick, or like real life stuff, man, that we have to overcome. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, my man Gibbs said, in one of his early joints that I produced, people will tell you about the persons, but they'll never tell you about the losses. And
Was that Friends?
yeah,
That was Friends. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, man. So they tell you about the persons, but they won't tell you about the losses. And without the losses, man,
Yeah.
there's really no substance to what you are. It's easy to talk about your wins. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? But to let people know, hey, there are definitely dark times, and times where you wanted to quit, or times where you were just like, this not working out. You know what I mean? The way I envisioned, to stay
Right.
down and stay in the trenches. That's what's important about, the message we convey with Beat the Block podcast.
Right. Hey, man, it's just like pizza, man. You can love pizza to death, but you gotta love the crust of a motherfucker sometimes, man.
That's
You know,
facts.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
facts. Sometimes that crust be burnt
Yep.
and hard
You gotta
and
enjoy this whole
terrible.
thing, bro.
You gotta
Straight
eat the
up.
whole pizza. That's real.
So you got any? What are the projects that are basically coming up as far as you're concerned? Whether it's Noir Caesar, whether it's you're producing, whether it's Beat the Block podcast.
Oh man, one of the projects I'm super excited about, man, is it's two projects actually. My man Corey has a joint coming called Space Pop, and
Yes.
I'm
Project Space
I'm
Pop.
I'm, I'm wildly excited about it, man, because it's like a space opera thing, man. It's very unique. I love the diversity and the versatility of the characters, and he's been working hard as shit at it for a very long time, man. And I'm,
Mhm.
for Corey to be doing as much as he does for Noir on a daily basis, to see, him on the cusp of finally getting his idea out there,
Mhm.
I'm beyond excited for him, man. I think everybody's gonna love Space Pop. It's been getting great responses. The artwork is amazing. The story is amazing, and I'm really excited for that. And of course, Fourth Rope, man. Like, I know you guys been seeing the rollout for the Fourth Rope joint.
Yeah. Like I saw that y'all got Chris Sabat.
Yeah, we got Chris Sabat coming on. John Eric Bentley, Noah Bentley, So a whole lot of people that I'm not even going to say that you
And
never would have thought was that's jumping on, that's voicing characters and doing some stuff, man. You know what I mean? I'm actually been in talks with my man Wood Harris. You know, Wood Harris is from the west
yeah,
side of Chicago, and he's very fond of what we're doing with Primus Seven.
Avon
So
Barksdale.
there's Avon Barksdale himself, man.
Damn.
He wants to definitely come on board and do some stuff for Primus Seven. So you know, man, it's all timing, man, and you know, we got a lot of stuff going on, just industry wide, man. Like you know, of course we can't talk about it, but it's coming. You know what I mean? And of course
Okay.
the app, man. The app is going to be just extremely fire, man. Like we want to take all the creatives off of Facebook and
Mhm.
Instagram, put you guys on the app so y'all can build. And you know, you might be a cold artist and you're
Uh-huh.
like, man, I need somebody to write this. And then there's a writer somewhere that's like, I need to partner with a cold artist. And you
Right.
guys are all in one community and you're able to build. And then still right there in that same community, okay, we think we got our stuff together and it's dope enough. Man, we need to pitch it to somebody. You don't have to leave the app, pitch it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One stop shop, man. That's what we're doing. And in the meantime, hey, you need some drip, Nami Wear is right there. You want to buy some manga? Hey, Noir app is right there. Everything is right there for you.
Man, yo, and we're expecting the what is the opening of the app around early 2021?
Yeah, we're trying to come out the gates January, man. We're trying to hit 2020. We're all trying to get out of this year.
Right.
Is you know, 2020's been crazy, man. So we're trying to definitely turn up in 2021. Definitely would love to get back on the road, hit some of these cons and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, we're moving at how the pandemic allows us to move. But like even right now, you know, we're getting ready to go back to the drawing board here in
Yeah.
Chicago. So and it's unfortunate, man, but you know, we're gonna figure this out, you know, all together, man. We got ain't no other way, you know.
Absolutely, man. Hey, look, I appreciate you kicking it with me, man. For one,
I got one more. Got one more. I got everybody who has me on as a guest, man. I got to give them a little bit of an exclusive of what I'm working on.
okay,
But
go ahead.
one of my favorite artists, man. Me and him been in the trenches working on a couple of projects. But be on the lookout. Me and my man Stove got Cooks got some heat coming.
Okay.
That's gonna be fire, man. Check him out. Reasonable Drought, album of the year, in my opinion. Go check that out, man. Fam is fire. Yeah, be on the lookout for that.
When should we expect that, brother?
Thinking about March, man. We should be
Around
wrapping
March.
that around
Look,
March. Yes, sir.
hey, you heard it here first, man. Il Brown about to put out some more heat for you guys at the beginning of next year, man.
Yes, sir. Gotta
So
stay grinding.
absolutely. So, brother, I appreciate having you on. I thank you for doing this. For one, check out that Noir Caesar app. For two, Beat the Block podcast. Next the new season. What thinking
Yeah,
around like next year?
season 2, man. December. We next month. We see you.
Next run in December. And
Yes, sir.
always check it. Once again, he already told you guys, beginning of next year, you're gonna have an Il Brown single in your deck. You know what I'm saying?
All day, man. Gotta keep going with that, man. And maybe even down the line, I might put out another album, man. I think I got my vinyl around here somewhere. I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, got one right here actually.
Okay.
And y'all can go get this. Pressandpush.com, man. Still Brown Return to the Hardcore. Yes,
Return
sir.
to hardcore. Il Brown.
First artist in Chicago with an Alchemist beat. There it is, right there.
Dang. Oh, you know what? The first
Yes, sir.
from the
Won't
guy.
be the last though. Won't be the last, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely not, bro. Shoot, man. I'm sure Alchemist is just like loving that all the way to death, man. The fact that you got that hit out there.
Yeah, that's
But,
my bro, man. Shout out to Al, man.
well, hey, for everybody out there, thank you for joining us on the Facts Project. Thank you to Il Brown for joining me today. Go look out for Noir Caesar and basically see this man for anything that's out there. It's a man of many hats. So pretty much you're going to find out an extended branch of what he's doing anyway. So come see that. All right.
Hey,
All right.
appreciate you for
Facts
having me, man.
Project. And we out, bro.